What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? Go ahead, say it with me. DJLittleRock.com. One more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next party. Let me entertain you. Are you not entertained? Make your next thing a big one. Today on the program, speaking of entertainment, I have Eddie Sash. Eddie Sash. Oh, it's a pretty cool name, right? Yeah. Oh, you heard that name a little bit. Okay. You're going to get to hear a little bit more about Eddie Sash in the next few minutes, so stick around. This week's shows, I have one public show for your listening pleasure, for your entertainment needs. That's the usual Friday night gig for me, the video dance party karaoke jam at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Go ahead. I got time. We'll wait for you. It's at 8 p.m. Friday night until 12:30 in the a.m. They got a full bar. The kitchen's open. Pool tables. They got a pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool and possibly make some money, why not come out to the Rab in Conway, Arkansas? Be there. It's your favorite place to be in the whole wide world. I said it. At least on Friday nights. Video dance party karaoke jam at the Rab, Conway, Arkansas, 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the a.m. And then on Saturday, I got a wedding in Little Rock. Hey, unless you're invited, you cannot come. The only reason I mentioned it, because I'm excited. We got weddings. Weddings are back, baby. It's wedding season. You know, I hear a lot of DJs say, hey, aren't you glad it's wedding season? And I go, man, wedding season doesn't end. People get married all year long. And I'm very privileged and very honored that they call me from time to time and say, hey, would you handle the music for us? Not a problem. Speaking of people that'll handle the music for you, let's get into it with Eddie Nash. That's enough intro. I got him on Skype. And if you're listening to the audio version, I encourage you to check out the video version on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/KeysDAN. Let's Skype Eddie Nash. Nash, Eddie Sash, now. There, echo's gone. Look at that fine hunk of man sitting in front of me.
Can you hear me?
What's up, Eddie Sash? Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, not a lot. Just been sitting in this chair since 10 a.m. and I'm beat.
Well,
some people.
Man, for the people that don't know, shoot, you are much, much more than a guitar player. I got introduced to you by Miss Marsalek, and she said, it's Eddie Sash. He's my guitar player. And then I start perusing your social medias. You are much, much more than a guitar player. For the people that don't know, man, give the people an idea of who you are. And hi, I'm KeysDAN.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm a guitar player, songwriter, and that's what I do.
Yeah, but so much more than that.
I add a lot more to a song. Like I can hear a song, then I'll top line something like some Dobro or whatever to kind of finish the song out. Not clutter it up, but just add little embellishments.
Okay. Well, Eddie Sash, I mean, I'm looking. All right, if I look at just spend 10 seconds on either your Facebook or on your Instagram page, you are a guitar fiend. Okay, there's people that dabble in guitar, play a little bit. Oh yeah, I noodle a little bit, but you have guitar after guitar after guitar after axe after tool. You have so many guitars, man. Are you a single man or are you a married man?
I'm married, happily married. She's a singer.
Okay.
And we actually met in Nashville and at an audition, and we just became friends, and they've just built from there.
Well, Eddie Sash, what I was driving at is sometimes buying guitars would drive the other half crazy. And You know, I know whenever I buy, music equipment, my wife's always going, you really need that? Do you really need that? Yeah. Do you want me to keep doing this job that I'm doing? Yeah, I really need that.
Why do you have like 6 amplifiers? Well, each one has a different flavor. Why do you have multiple spices in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Each one adds something, a Strat or a Telecaster or a Les Paul. Every one guitar or amp has a different, they all have their own soul, their own sound.
Well, let's go through that, Eddie Sash. What's the first guitar you pick up, and when was this, and where are you from? Where is a little Eddie Sash born and raised?
I was born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. And I've always been around music, but I never really played guitar until I got to high school. And, somebody's brother had a band or, that kind of thing. And it just, the love grew from there. I mean, I started out on bass, I was really, I couldn't really play. I mean, bass is like dum, 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 single notes. For the non-bass player, the guitar player playing bass, plays one note or 2 notes. A bass player actually plays the instrument. So I was like a guitar player playing bass because it was easier to play one note in a song than learn the chord and all the different things that go with, a guitar,
Well, is this plucking or strumming? I guess the plucking is the funk type of guitar. And
like we learned like Hey Jude, it's like one note kind of thing on a bass. The bass player would add a lot more, but I couldn't play the chords, so it was easier for me to play a single note on bass, and that's how I started in high school. In 9th grade, I played bass, and it slowly migrated once I learned more over to guitar.
Well, I admire the people that play bass. I know there's a lot of guitarists that join the band and say, well, we already have a guitarist. Why don't you learn how to play the bass? I've heard that several times on this podcast alone, and I've heard that story in other places as well. But I admire the bass. I like the rhythm section. I'm from Miami, and there's a place down there called Tobacco Road, and I found myself there. I had a night off, and it happened to be their open mic night. I think it was either a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And out of all the bands and all the solo guitarists and all the people that were playing, my favorite was a drummer. He had like a very basic drum set. Might have been a cajon and a snare or whatever. But he was a drummer and a bassist. They kept me entertained for 45 minutes, man. I would have stood there forever looking at these two just working the rhythm. So fun, man.
It's like a bass player is like the bassist that plays for Clapton. Nathan East. I mean, that's a bass player.
Okay.
These guys that
explain.
I mean, it's just they fill up the space in a song. It's just not like dun 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 dun. I mean, they're playing all kind of stuff behind the chords and the vocals, along with keeping the pocket of them and the drums. It's
Well, I guess if you're working for the late great Eric Clapton, arguably one of the greatest guitarists of all time, at least in our in our history, that when guitars were first invented by was it Les Paul or was it
Leo Fender?
Was it Leo Fender? Yeah. Who was it, man? I know there's big controversy. You think was it Fender definitively?
I think Leo Fender, the Telecaster in late 40s.
Okay.
And I know Les Paul. There's old Gibsons. I mean, but
and then Gibson. That's right. There is. I did hear a podcast about the beginnings of guitars, and there's the Gibson and the Fender. Who made it first?
Well, it's like Coke and Pepsi. They're both good. It just Leo Fender, Teles and Strats, and the Gibson is like the ES335 or a Les Paul or a SG or a Les Paul Jr.
You said SG, man. Probably one of my two.
One back there.
I know you do. I saw you playing on it.
61 SG.
Yes.
Les Paul, then the rest are Strats and Teles.
Man, my cousin Timmy, post-Rockalypse, he's been on this podcast before. The man could play by ear, and he's had several guitars that he's had to buy and sell. And, you know, starving artist, to be sure. But my favorite guitar that he ever had was like a black SG, like a goth, I guess is what goth version of it. And he was in a college band in Gainesville, Florida at the time. And, man, that kid can play, and I admire people that can play, such as yourself, man. But you play several different types, types of guitars. And do you still have the basses and what other instruments do you play?
I got a bass. I mean, I play different things. You know, I lived in Michigan for a while, and I played in an R&B band, Samu Johnson band, and that was, just rhythm and blues, James Brown kind of stuff. Played in rock bands, the Eddie Van Halen kind of stuff, and down here in Nashville, I'm doing pop country and some traditional country. So I'm trying to, I do a little bit of everything. Not a master of anything, but just kind of bits and pieces, guy. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
There's more to that line. I cannot remember it right now. What is it? Master of None. There's more to that line. You said it, Master of None. I'm going to look it up because I know that there's more to that line that makes it makes it a positive. Being a master of none, a jack of all trades, and a master of none, there's more to it. I know that there's more to that saying.
Well, it's better to know a little bit because you're there's always somebody who knows, hey, check this out, So there's always you're never the master. You're never like a journeyman or whatever they call it, master of the instrument. It's always a learning and process. It's a process of learning constantly.
I've got the whole quote. The complete saying was originally, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. So it's good, that you've grabbed a bunch of tools and put them in that toolbox and mastered each one of those tools. Man, it makes you, you said that you were in different bands in different cities in this great country of ours, and I'm guessing that maybe a hired gun. Were you a studio musician at some point?
I mean, mostly I was in original bands. Samu Johnson has a couple CDs out. So it's a lot of, I haven't really been in an exclusive cover band. It's been mostly original music because I don't have the patience to sit there and learn somebody else's song.
Oh.
Some songs, yes, but it's easier for me to write a song. I know that sounds crazy.
It's cuckoo. It's cuckoo bananas that it's easier to write a song and put it out there. You're putting your heart and soul into these songs, and you're hoping. Well, I don't know. Are you hoping that other people like them? Yes, I guess in some part of your mind. But are you writing them because they're stuck in your head and you have to get them out? What is the reason that you're wanting to write the songs, and how does the inspiration come?
It's a variety of things. I mean, I think with writing, it's who you're with. Like when I write with Michelle and Sarah, it comes together so smoothly. There is some a little bit of attitude, working with two strong women that know their craft, and I know my craft. At least I think I do, and sometimes we butt heads on things, but we always seem to come out with a good product. Like the two songs that we have out now, "Watch Me Tell You No" and "Horses Roam." They're very different songs. From one's a little bit this way, one's more pop rock country, one's more like a Tori Amos kind of feel, piano, and kind of makes you kind of think kind of song.
Out there.
So we write a lot. I mean, we just, I don't know. I don't understand it. It just flows when I'm with these two.
Well, I mean, who are they? Does the person that you're working with become your muse, or do you have an idea already when you walk into a studio, or do you have these ideas? Like I know some songwriters that I've had on this podcast that'll just keep posting and posting and posting lyrics after lyrics after lyrics, and that becomes kind of like a fisherman with a hook. And if maybe perhaps a singer will see those lyrics, like them, and go, I'd like to sing a song that features those lyrics. Is there a melody? Do you come up with a melody first? I cannot figure out.
I came up with the little, I guess you would call it a riff for Watch Me Tell You No. It's just, something I don't know if you can hear that.
Not too well. If you had an acoustic, maybe.
Yeah,
but usually instruments don't sound so good on podcasts. But yeah, I guess we'll get the gist of it.
Well, I mean, like we had, I just came in and went like. Then, then we just kind of piece it together, then go to the next part, then it's done. And it's even with the piano song, Horses Roam, it was just kind of a. Then they layered in all the different vocal lines, added the piano. I mean, it's really. I have like the original cell phone recordings of these songs where we're just sitting around, just strumming and going, oh, this works, this don't. Then you hear the actual song once it's done, you're like going, damn.
Eddie
Not
Sash.
that it's great or better than anybody else's. It just, you take all these pieces and you really lay it out when you get the band together. It becomes something.
Eddie Sash, you just played two very different riffs. I mean, the first one was, like a low down, dirty, just makes you feel,
like,
yeah. Oh, I want to, I don't drink beer, but I want to have a beer in my hand just so I can fit in with that crowd.
Rock song.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the other one's just kind of a.
This song's going to make me think about my life, and I haven't even heard the first chorus. It's just, it's making me think about, it's making me contemplate about things. And that's.
Well, that was the thing with they added the piano piece and the different layered vocals. It just takes you somewhere.
It does.
This is just naked. But when you add all the angel type voices in the background and the actual piano, and it fills up the space. It's like painting a picture.
Well, you started off this podcast with you were sitting in that chair since 10 o'clock this morning, and I guess it's closer to 8:45 your time right now. That chair, there's a reason you were sitting in that chair in that room. What is going on in that chair in that room?
Well, I mean, I had some friends, Greg Matthews and Michael. Oh, he's going to Sephiretti. Probably destroying his last name, but they wrote a song and they wanted to record it. So we did it acoustically and I added a little bit of dobro to it, but they're trying to pitch the song. The target is Tim McGraw, and they have their mind on how they want to do it. And we just they came over this morning at 10 a.m., which is unbelievable for anybody who's a musician. 10 a.m. to drive 30 minutes north of Nashville to come to my house and lay it down. It's pretty amazing.
Oh my, that's early. But wait, what you're saying is you have some kind of a recording studio, and I'm looking at it. Is that your attic? Is that a pitched roof? I'm looking at
my bonus room above the garage.
Above the garage, okay. And you've designed. Is it a full blown production studio, or is it a place that you can make a demo?
I can add anything to a multi-track recording. I have middle of the road gear, but it's more concentrated on me adding a vocal or me adding a guitar part. So the two inputs are the best that money can buy, instead of buying 16 where it's easier for me to have drums tracked down the street in Nashville, and the bass and the keyboards where it's, big instruments. I don't have all that space. They, tidied it all up, then they send it here, then I can act crazy on the guitar and do whatever I want all day long, and it doesn't cost me anything. Or we can layer in vocals or whatever we need. So what I've been concentrating on is like songwriters who want to catalog their material. Like my friend Greg, he's got tons of songs. I said, you just need to come here and spend like the weekend, and we'll record every song you got so you can have a catalog. And, when it's time to put a song in somebody's hands, if they ask, what else do you got? You can go, well, here's the CD.
Do people still use
so
CDs? Wait a minute. Wait, you're pitching to somebody as lofty as Tim McGraw, which means you're writing.
Not, they are, but yeah,
they're writing a song.
Goal.
You're involved. You're involved in the process. Without you, they couldn't make this nice demo. That's a lofty goal. I mean, the man. I'm sure he has the opportunity to pick and choose what he puts out using his golden voice that he has. And do you have to make a demo that is pristine? With
well, I mean, I don't know what you can hear from here's a bit of the song. I'll
it probably won't sound nearly as good as it does in your ears.
Yeah, it won't sound as good as you were sitting here, but
never thought I'd be crossing it again.
I don't know if you can hear that.
Still hear his voice in my head. Son, it's gonna be okay. It might bend and it may sway, but the years of rust don't mean it ain't strong.
And they recorded the vocal and the acoustic guitar, and I added a little icing on the cake.
Well, icing meaning what? Reverb, or what's the mix master that Eddie Sash can add?
Well, just the different guitar parts, like the Dobro. You can hear the.
You can always turn around, come back home.
Little background.
Still bridges don't burn.
Just something else to fill up space. Since it's easier to pitch something like this where it's just a vocal and a guitar and maybe another guitar, because then the artist or the manager, whoever's helping this guy or whoever they are, pick the songs. If you sometimes give them the whole cake, they don't want the whole cake. They just want to hear it stripped down. Then they can go, what would sound good if we can get so-and-so to play the violin? Wait, we can call up so-and-so and do the piano part on this, and we can maybe, they may change some lyrics, they may back out some things, but when it's all done, I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but when it's done, you can't pick and choose. I mean, you can, but if it's like stripped down, they can go, if it's just like, now if it's that and drums and keyboards and horns and this and that, they can't dream and go, you know what, you do this, then I'll go, if it's already there, they can't envision it.
No,
so
you're giving them a sentence, you're giving them a thought, an idea to let them, run with
just
it. Yes,
enough.
yes, of course.
And
that makes a lot of sense, a complete amount of sense. You even hear, the Beatles when they're doing their rough cuts. You'll hear, Paul on the guitar, or maybe John on the. Paul on the piano, or maybe John on the guitar, and they'll be just doing a very light version. Hey Jude, and you're like, huh?
Boy, what's funny is if you listen to the end of some of their songs, since they didn't have the ability to hide and erase stuff, you can sometimes hear them talking like, there will be a I didn't like that, or you'll hear a lighter flick or something. That's that's really cool about music being recorded years ago, where it was harder to do it then than it is now. Now I can just sit here and push a button and drums appear.
Oh,
you know?
I know how to splice
Now-
tape still. I remember reel to reel and cutting and splicing. That's where it comes from, kids. Cutting and splicing.
Yep.
You know, but I mean, do you feel? Okay, I don't know the timeline. I don't know when little Eddie Sash was born in Columbus, Ohio, and when he moved to Michigan to be in an R&B band. And I know I might be capping. When did you graduate high school, and when did you head over to Michigan?
I graduated in the 90s, and in 2008 I moved to Nashville.
Okay.
And
when did you go to
right
Michigan?
around then is when I met my wife, and we stayed in Nashville until I think 2013. Then she got transferred with corporate America back to Michigan, where she's from. Then they sent us to Atlanta. Then in 2018, we landed back here.
Okay.
So we're probably gonna call it unless they can send us to like to Cabo.
Well,
we're going to be here
all through this time. Eddie Sash, are you meeting up with fellow musicians, playing music, or are you having to get a Joe job to make ends meet?
Well, I mean, I did some recruiting for some trucking companies, and I sell real estate too, so
Good.
that helps, and helping people record stuff. You get a few bucks here and there. I mean, it all works out.
No, that's cool, man. But you said that you weren't in any cover bands, and I tell people there's two ways you can go to make it in the music industry. Yeah, you could be in a party band, learn about 200, of the top favorite songs, and make a pretty good living. Every weekend at weddings and events. But if you want to play the big time, you want to be in front of 50,000, of your closest random strangers, new friends. You gotta start making your own groove, and that's what you've done, Eddie Sash. Have you been in cover bands at all, or?
Yeah, I've been in cover bands. When I was younger, we played a mix of originals and
what were we playing?
Anything from 38 Special to Def Leppard. More rock stuff. Here in town, I'm working on a duo with another singer-songwriter, and we're going to do our original music that we create, and we're going to play the cover tunes to make the tourist happy.
Absolutely. That's once again
there's a lot of country songs and a lot of rock songs that are just great songs that are hits, like Journey. The singer that I'm working with, Trent Montgomery, he has a heck of a range, and he's a hell of a singer. So we could do a Journey song and pull it off acoustically. A lot of people, it's because it's such a high register, and they're vocally demanding songs and guitar wise. So we're gonna do a little bit of both. Do the corporate gig / bars downtown, and do our version of these covers, but really push our original music, and try to find the artist that needs a song. And say, hey, if you're looking for material, we can provide you with whatever you need. And what we can't, Michelle and Sarah, we're getting a boatload of music that we get in our pipeline that we're slowly. There's a process of how we do things, and we released the ones. They released the one song, and Michelle just released Horses Roam. So we don't want to do it all at once, but that's why I'm doing other things with other people, so I can keep active and still promote what they do.
Well, Eddie Sash, you're giving people gems, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the beginning of the week. Maybe you go to a local open mic or do a little set at the local bar or restaurant. Sit in the corner and play some music and give the people a little flavor.
I back songwriters too. A lot of songwriters are really good with the chords. Then I'll just over the top of the whatever their song is, just it's that space. When you just hear then you hear another guitar over the top of it. It just fills the space out, and it makes the song really push. You know,
I love to see a 12 string. Does that do it all by itself? That's in my mind, because I don't know much about guitaring, you know, but when you play a 12
one guitar
string,
I don't have.
well, you know, I had a roommate back, you know, well, in Miami, named Steve, and he looked like Steve Urkel, but he played like Steve Vai. You know, and his favorite band was Korn. If I heard Freak on a Leash one more time, but it was so good. And he had a 12 string that, you know, he said, oh yeah, you got to tune them a little differently, and it sounds like two different guitars. I didn't really get a good explanation about that, but I mean, it's just amazing what you can do. A man with or a woman with a guitar can go and sit on a quarter, do some busking, make some dinner money, you know, and practice their craft in front of
They're
people.
a folk guitar. I mean, they fill up, you know, they bring you hear that, then you hear double that. You hear higher pitch, because every string has another string beside it, which is a lower gauge string. So it's like, you know, you get all the sounds. It's real pretty sounding. So they're kind of cool guitars, but that's one guitar I've never had.
Okay, but you started on bass. Let's go back to there. Who gave you that bass? What gave you the idea that hey, Eddie? My name's Eddie Sash. I think I want a bass. No, who gave you that bass? Who gave you the inspiration?
It was in ninth grade. Scott played guitar, and he was good. And I was just starting out, and I wanted to be in the band, but here's the bass for school. So it was easy for me just to strum, you know, one note while he was, you know, playing the full, filling up the space with the guitar.
Let's see, ninth grade in the 90s. You're playing, what are you like in Nirvana? Maybe taking some 80s songs?
Yeah, basically Survivor. No, not Survivor. Or what's the name of that band? Like
Asia.
School basketball prep songs that we were doing. You know, we did like I think we did Jump from Van Halen. You know, he got to, you know, play the cool parts, and I just, you know, dun, 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 dun. You know, I just played
he's Michael Anthony, man. That's great. I mean, there's no way. Well, I mean, from what I understand,
can sing, though.
From what I understand, yeah, the high notes are not David Lee Roth. The high notes were always Michael Anthony. You know, getting up that high.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. But you know, that's who's okay, because Scott, you wanted to play with Scott, and who is Scott, and what became of Scott?
I have no idea. I haven't seen him since ninth. Well, he was a senior and I was freshman, so I don't know. He's probably still back in Columbus.
Well, big ups to Scott for putting Eddie Sash on the path and letting him be in the band. I mean, who's doing the drumming? And you know, is this what kind of gigs are you playing in ninth grade, or are you playing?
Well, I mean, these were like the high school. We had band class, you know. Okay. So it was a way for me. That was one class I did get respectable grades in. So there was, I think it was like 7th period or 8th period band class, and we all met in the gymnasium. So it was kind of cool.
That's right, bureaucrats.
But
don't cut the arts.
Mean, guitar, you know, I've been Eddie Van Halen's it. I mean, for me, I mean, I just all that stuff.
Just the fingering style of I don't, like I said, man, I could play 3 chords on a guitar. Just the fingering style that he maybe he didn't make it up, but he definitely made it shine for sure. The way he played. Right place
at the right time. I mean, there was Jimi Hendrix, and Jimi Hendrix died, and you know, you got Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, Richie Blackmore, all these guitar players. I'm sure I'm missing people. But there was something cool about Eddie Van Halen. Once you learn you can dance around the Van Halen stuff.
Traveling up the neck. That's beautiful.
The guy who I really like is Richie Sambora from Bon Jovi. because he not only can, I mean, he's a great guitar player, but he's a great songwriter and he's a magnificent singer. You know what I mean? And if you got those three things, you know, you got it.
I like their appearance on SNL, where it was like the beginnings of the band. Oh, what are we going to name it? Well, let's try Bon Jovi for about 5 years, and then maybe we'll change it to Sambora. It never happened. That never happened.
But I mean, but it goes back to what they say. You know, it's songwriting. I mean, anybody can play in a cover band, and you know, and I kind of poke fun at people. You know, if I go play guitar for Bon Jovi, I'm a cover band guitarist, probably the most highly paid cover band guitarist. That would be Phil X, who's playing now, but not that he can't play and sing, and he is writing with them now, but that kind of a gig is just, how could you pass that up? I mean, playing for any national country act, you're a cover tune artist, you're a cover tune guitar player. I know that's going to slap and hurt a lot of people's feelings, but you are. But that break will get you other doors open that, you know, once maybe you are a great songwriter and a great singer. I mean, that could lead into something else where, hey, you know, I write songs too, and you know, I don't know, you know, I'm still learning.
We've already talked about the recording style back in the day. There was only a handful or two handfuls of studios that would do all the recording all over the world, really. And sometimes they had their own studio musicians. They're hired guns. They're green onions. They're people that, you know, the monkeys trying to show up for a recording session, and all we need is Mickey. You know, we don't need anybody else.
Well, that probably happens a lot here in town. I mean, you got one or two guys
or I mean, Davy Jones, yeah.
Yeah, the music is it's a different world today. I mean, if you're an independent artist, you're probably doing everything yourself. But once you get to that next level, a lot of times they have the touring band, then they have the guys who play in the studio. You know, like obviously Keith Urban plays on his stuff because he's a good guitar player. But you know, somebody like I don't know. You know, pick an artist. They may play guitar, but it's easier for them to just assign somebody, hey, you guys do this.
Well, I heard I guess is it Mark Foster the People? He was making himself a demo in his home studio. The rest of the band, they're sound asleep. He had this pumped up kick song stuck in his head. So he plays guitar, he plays the drums, he plays the bass, he plays every instrument, he sings over it, he overdubs it, he sends it to the record company, and they go, oh yeah, we'll just release this as is. And the rest of the band's going, hey, what gives? You know, it was all him playing everything and layering with the technology that you can do.
They've made it so easy. I mean, like, I could get Keith Urban's latest song in the studio, and they can Dropbox it to me. I can open it up and add anything I want to it and send it back, and you'd never know. You know, it's just the quality of sound, you know, and you don't need a lot of real estate. It's just a little piece of gear, you know.
Well, it's
mind blowing.
We used to do that. I was a DJ back in the 80s, class of 86, you know, but, you know, in the early days of the mixing and scratching and layering and stealing. No, it wasn't stealing. It was, we borrowed. No,
borrowed.
What is it? We borrowed this lick, and then we overdubbed it and made it go over and over and used two records to make that oh my goodness, just the things that we were doing back then. And now with technology, you can get a song, rip out the a little guitar lick, put a little effect on it. They'll never know that was the lick that came from their song, or the drum or the snare that came from their song, because of the way you can change the music. Is it still stealing? Probably. That was my lick.
I think we're at a point where if you don't go back to how things were, most country songs, I'm going to get hurt for saying this. Sometimes it's like the machine creates the music, the way it sounds, and it's so. I guess what I'm saying is today in a lot of country music or a lot of any music, you couldn't tell if you scrap the vocals and just if you heard an Eagles song without the vocals, you would know it's the Eagles. You would know it's Led Zeppelin. You would know it's Queen or Michael Jackson or any artist from maybe 15, 18 years ago. You could pull the vocal out and you would know within a few notes that song is so-and-so. Today, it's hard to tell. You know what I mean? Like, when I hear Keith Urban play guitar, I know it's him, or Vince Gill, Pete Anderson with Dwight Yoakam. But a lot of music today, there's not memorable riffs or parts, and that's what I try to sell when I write with people. I'm just not. I'm like, trying to write a, memorable like this. It's different. It's not that it's better than anybody else, but it has that spark of interest from that moment you hear it. Oh, that's the thing with a lot of these artists. Today it's, and I don't know how a lot of other people write, but when I write, I try to create a memorable part that a guitar player would like, that the singer can put up with.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You don't want it. The singer wants to stand their ground. They want a spotlight on them. But if you have a good riff behind you that's memorable, where the local kid in the local guitar store who's taking lessons can learn it, then you might. That's like Van Halen. Every kid wants, as silly, simple as that is, that's so memorable.
Yes. You'll get no pushback from me. That.
Even a Journey, like. I mean, these, and you can water the distortion down and make it smoother for the easy listening country artist.
For the music.
I mean, they're like Gary Allen's got some good stuff. I mean, Keith Urban's got memorable stuff. Brad Paisley does, but he's kind of like the last guitar hero. Those three, because there really isn't anybody else out there that. And I don't know if that's a controlled thing where they want the artist to sell, and market. But I always think if you had if I play, what it is. I don't.
Yes.
I mean,
yes. You're talking about corporations, man. I've worked for corporate radio and I've worked for mom and pop radio. I always have more room to give in the mom and pops. If I'm talking straight to the owner, can I play that song that this guy just gave me off the street? It sounds pretty good. Yeah, put it right on the air. No problem. But if you're working for a corporation that, they own 200 stations all across the country, it's one guy, maybe in Michigan, that's programming every station in the country.
Behind the scenes, programming the machine.
Right. And I'm sure it's the same thing for the corporation. There's a suit. He's trying to make some money. He wants that artist to succeed, so he can make a couple bucks off of them. But he sees or he hears that song made some bucks. It had some traction. What did it have? Oh, it had a girl. It had a beer. It had a truck. It had some rain. All of a sudden it's David Allan Coe making fun of himself at the end. Mama or trains or prison or trucks. Yeah, it's the same. It's got to be that formula. I know. If we make it kind of like that, but not exactly that, but it ends up being exactly that, like stamping. Boom, like an assembly line, stamping. Not cool.
I think there's a large. I think the population out there really likes the alternative venues to get music, whatever avenues. Like you know, everybody listens to classic rock radio because it plays all the hits when you were growing up.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of artists out there that are just unbelievable that are getting more alternative radio options than ever before. You know, and if this was 10, 15 years ago, you couldn't even get the door open. Now you can open the damn door yourself, and if you got the time and money, you can put it out there and let the people make the decision, you know?
Man, you're talking about classic rock. There's newer and newer songs getting on classic rock stations. Hey, man, I listen to this stuff in the back of the school bus. Come on. Why is it classic rock? Oh, yeah, I'm getting older. But you're talking about classic rock songs, and you're playing riffs. Those riffs that, name that tune. I can name that tune in 2 notes. Yeah, Stairway. Oh, yeah, I got you. You know, Journey. Of course, man. Rush. I can talk all day long about the best opening riffs where you know that song in 3 notes, man. You know it.
Even songs from I like a lot of older Motown that is like James Brown and the heavily voiced vocals of that era, where you know it's a great drummer, a great bass player, and a great guitar player, and a horn section. And they have that thing too, that riff thing where you remember the song, and I can name that song in 3 notes, you know. And it's just that feel that a lot of music, you know. Chris Stapleton's really good.
Yeah,
he's somebody who is not of the same stamp, put out.
Yeah,
it
seems like him.
I'm not going to complain if one of them people call and say, "Hey, I'd like to do your song, and I'd like to turn it upside down and make it a pop rap song." Please do, and I hope you make $1 million.
Yeah, him and Morgan Wallen, and you know, all these cats that are coming up and doing their own thing, making their own thing. I had a 14-year-old kid on this podcast just a couple of weeks ago, and he was playing some country that Marty Robbins could have been playing back in the 40s and 50s, man.
There's a big push for Texas type country, that old
twang.
You know, that you got it, that you know, that because they're just, you would never, like Dwight Yoakam, you would never hear a rhythm track like Dwight Yoakam today. I mean, I think people, if they heard it, they'd love it. You know, bands like Diamond Rio with vocals that can sing, and not like a refrigerator full of autotune. I mean, I'm probably going to get beat up next time out in public, but
every time somebody wants a two-step,
the facts.
Yeah, every time somebody wants a two-step, I'll play that Diamond Rio song. No problem. We got you a two-step. You know,
Ronnie Dunn, Brooks and Dunn. I mean, there's a lot of Lone Star. There's a lot of bands that Little Texas. I mean, they're all great.
Man, I obviously you know your stuff. You've come up. You were in band. You were a band geek, I guess. Did you do anything else in high school? Were you into sports, or was it all band all the time?
It was once I got out of high school, it was music for quite a few years, you know, and just working to feed the machine. And like now, it's I got a home studio, and I got got the tools I need to help others record their stuff, or help write or co-write, and you know.
Yeah, and then selling real estate. My goodness, putting somebody in a home, that's got to be fantastic as well. So that's a nice day gig.
Yeah, that's really cool too. I mean, I'm pretty lucky.
Well, I mean, you could definitely promote that. Give shout outs to people that have helped you along the way. I know we need to wind this thing down because it's getting late over there, and I'm sure the wife wants to see you a little bit. That's nice. Family's good, man. But as we wind this thing down, where are you now, Eddie Sash, in the music biz? Are you in a band regularly? Are you doing gigs regularly?
Right now I back songwriters. I write with Michelle and Sarah. And the thing I'm doing with Trent Montgomery, we're going to try to get out there and do a mix of just a duo, just acoustic, of country covers, some rock covers, and push our material as well, just so you never know who's in the audience who might go, hey, I like that song, you know.
Yeah, you set the hook with the covers, 2 or 3 covers, and hey, you want to hear one of mine? Yeah, who's gonna say no? Who's gonna say no?
And it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy doing it. And like I said, I starting to help out more songwriters since I got I bought another house a little further out from Nashville, and like I said, my bonus room is my little oasis, man cave, whatever. Yeah. So now I can record people that are, instead of going into town and spending a little bit too much money, for people, they can come out here for a reasonable price, and I can add a little bit to their song and see where it goes for them.
Eddie Nash, that must be a geographical magnet, that location you're in. I'm from the Florida Keys. My mom lived in the Florida Keys. My grandma still lives in the Florida Keys. She's always telling me to come home. My mom just sold her $1 million house and moved just south of Nashville. They're building a log cabin. Why? She's not in the music business. There's something about the area that makes you want to be there. It's the heart of America.
Nice. I mean, it's good for retirees because of the tax code for now.
Okay.
There's a lot of you're 3-4 hours from the mountains, and you're what 7 hours from Florida, something like that. On a plane, it's nothing.
Yeah.
But we got everything except for the ocean.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I'm from Miami, the Florida Keys. My world turned from blue. Here I am in Arkansas now, Central Arkansas. It turned into green. It was all blue. Now it's green. But I like it, man. I changed my whole life at 40 years old. You have had several life changes, moving from Columbus to Michigan to Nashville, back to Michigan, back to Nashville. I don't remember the exact timeline, but here you are in the Nashville area helping people, not just doing your own thing, writing your own songs, but you're also helping others. And once we get to a certain age and we get a certain amount of knowledge under our belts, I mean, are you open to having people contact you if they want to get some recording done somewhere in the area?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anything that is welcome. And we're really, I would say, I forgot to say something, that we're really excited about the award show down in Atlanta, the ISSA, with Sarah. If she's nominated for a whole list of things, but if she gets the Song of the Year, Songwriter of the Year, that's going to pay dividends for all of us in our little group here.
Whoop, whoop.
So
that's Sarah Marsalek, and she's got that "Watch Me Tell You No" song. That's the hit that you've written. Man, I was so excited to talk to her, and she said a few nice things about you as well, and I'm so glad that
they're very good at what they do. I mean, it's a very painless process with them. They know what they're doing. And even though they don't play an instrument, the lyrics and just the background of music and how things roll, I mean, we knock them out. We got a whole. I met them right before COVID, I believe. I think it was. I can't remember exactly when, but we wrote I don't know how many songs, and we're slowly piecing them out and getting them fully production recording, and they're releasing them. Whichever one sings on it releases it under their name. So it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing more from you. And I'm guessing the name of your studio is that Top Down Writers. Is that?
Yeah, just something simple. I figured I had to buy my wife a convertible to offset the guitars. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a bribe. I'll get you a convertible, and I can sneak guitars in the house.
All right. I just spent $2,000 on two QSC K12.2s speakers, and then I bought my wife a $143 coffee maker. Is that fair? Is it fair?
Yeah. I mean, I get to drive the convertible too, but I mean, it's her car.
Hey, man, that's great, man. Hey, whatever. If the wife is happy, everybody happy.
Everybody's
right.
Happy.
That's beautiful, man. You got a good life. You got a happy wife, happy life. You got a nice home. It sounds like you're heading in the right direction. Is that the 5-year plan? To keep making music?
Just keep making music. I'm trying to get into the touring thing. I mean, I'm trying to find an artist who needs a guitar player and go on the road regionally or nationally or whatever they're doing. and get into that market when I'm not writing. Well, I'm always writing, but just to do it all. If let's say I'm sure he doesn't, but if Vince Gill does 50 dates this year, I'm here. Call me.
People tell me I look like Vince Gill sometimes. I think I look like I look like I ate Vince Gill. All right, man. Eddie Sash, it's been really good chit-chatting with you. We've gotten a lot of information from you. I know Top Down Writers is the place you need to go. Is there another website to head for, or is that the one?
That's it, or just if you type my name in Google, you'll either find me in the guitar or me in some real estate.
Well, I'll definitely put your Instagram, your Facebook page. I'll make sure that people know how to find you when I put them down in the show notes. And is there any other place? Do you have a YouTube page? I really didn't find that one.
I don't have a YouTube. I have some of the songs I write. We write with some of the songs I've written with Michelle and Sarah. Revolution Remastered, their site. That's where we all put what we do through that venue.
And who owns that site? Is that just like
that's Michelle and Sarah? That's their thing, and I'm kind of like a ghost. In the background where, we write songs. If they need a guitar part, I come in and do what I got to do. Or if we write a song together, one of them will either record it and put it out, and they run it through that.
Well, you're also letting people know if anybody comes away from this podcast with anything, they know that you can't do this by yourself. You need a team.
No, you can't. And we each play a part. Even with the new people I've written with here recently, everybody's good at something.
Yeah.
And we all need each piece to build the house.
Well, you say the wife's a singer. Do you ever do anything with her?
Oh yeah, we've played quite a bit over the years. I mean, we're slowly putting together songs, and we're going to go back out and do some writers' nights here in town. But then it's hard to do the voice over the phone it's not, we have some stuff that I have on my studio here, but yeah, we're looking forward to doing that.
That's pretty cool, man. When you can.
So I'm a lucky guy,
Yeah.
Vince Gill. He's got Amy, I got Brandy, so I got a singer in the house. Anytime I need one, I can just yell downstairs, hey, come up here and help me with this.
That is fantastic. Anything that you can do to keep a marriage together, find some activities, and here you are. You might make a song that goes platinum. Who knows, man? And it's something that could stand the test of time. Eddie Sash forever, right? And
you got it,
man. I'm all for it. I look forward to hearing more from you. I don't want this to be the last time that we talk. As time progresses, you can come pop back on and promote whatever you're doing, and make sure that you refresh the people and give updates from time to time what Eddie Sash and the gang is doing over at Top Down Writers. That's topdownwriters.com. Pretty simple.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Topdownwriters.com. All right, I'll put that in the show notes. Any shout outs you want to give to some people as we wind this thing down?
I just want to say thank you to Sarah and Michelle for meeting. We met, like I said, a couple years ago during COVID, and it's been good with them.
All right, Eddie Sash. I usually finish these things off with last words for the people. This could be words to live by, something you heard a long time ago, maybe a mantra that you wake up with every morning, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Eddie Sash, give the last words for the people.
You got to keep playing music. That's what connects everybody, makes everybody happy. That's the only thing that, that's a universal thing. Keeps us and connects us.
Well, there you have it, party people. Eddie Sash in the mix. Speaking of mix, check out his website, Top Down Writers. That's writers like your writing utensil. Top Down, TopDownWriters.com for all of your guitar and recording needs. Check it out. Man, the dude's cool. Eddie Sash, thank you so much for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast. I look forward to hearing more from you, man, and not just from you with your dealings with Michelle and Sarah, but I believe there's going to be more people in the Top Down Writers studio as time progresses. And it's nice that you can use the internet for good. Get your drums sent to you via the web and your email. That's fantastic. All right, Eddie Sash, thanks again for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast. Now, I'm turning my attention to you, my loyal listener. If you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for me. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.